January 9th, 2007, Moscone Center, San Francisco. The Macworld Conference and Expo. On stage walks Steve Jobs. Might have heard of him. The CEO of Apple. Well, Apple in 2006 is riding off the high of the iPod. But it's not invincible. Revenue the previous fiscal year, $19.3 billion. With a B. Primary profit engine is the iPod. The company's future, it's not guaranteed. Meanwhile, the phone market is controlled by Nokia, more than 1/3 of global market share to be exact. Motorola, riding the old razor wave. BlackBerry, dominant in enterprise and government. Apple, they've never made a phone. Inside Cupertino, the iPhone project, codenamed Project Purple, pretty clever, right, is isolated in a secured building. Engineers working behind badge-locked doors. Prototypes overheated. Software, it froze. Memory leaks were very common. And now Jobs is about to demo it live. No backup phone in his pocket. The demo unit is running on what engineers internally called a golden path, a carefully choreographed sequence of actions to avoid crashing. One wrong click and the illusion shatters. The room doesn't know that. Jobs smiles. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Best Moment Ever. We've done some pretty good ones, right? This one, well, it potentially is going to be legendary, especially if you're an Apple fan. If you haven't guessed and you haven't read the description or the title, well, buckle up, because this one is a pretty good one. We are going to talk about the moment. We are going to rank the moment with a score on 5 categories. We're going to total it, and we're going to see where it lands currently on an ever-revolving list. Will it beat the fall of the Berlin Wall? Will it beat we landed on the moon? Will it beat when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock? Well, let's go. So, Steve Jobs, he's there. He says, today Apple's going to reinvent the phone. He starts to build the tension on stage. We're introducing 3 revolutionary products. A widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communicator. He then repeats it. The audience slowly realizes it's all one device. Applause. Was wild. The moment it shifts, the first swipe happens. No stylus, no physical keyboard, just glass responding to fingers. The original specs were 3.5-inch touchscreen, 320 by 480 resolution. Hold on to your seats. A 2-megapixel rear camera, edge network before 3G. No app store, because that came in 2008. There was no copy paste. $499 and $599 price points with an AT&T contract. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty bold. And here's the part that I think a lot of people forget about. 3 months later, Apple slashed the price by $200. Early adopters, they were pretty mad. Jobs issued a public letter and offered $100 store credit as I'm sorry, even history-making products stumble sometimes. Well, I want to get right into the ranking because this is the meat and the potatoes of the world. And to be honest with you, I'm not a huge Apple fan. All right, I'm Team Google. I'm Team Android. You can argue with me which one's better, which one's more superior, all you want. You're not going to change my mind. The moment that you two put on music on an iPhone without my consent was the moment that I said, bye-bye, Apple, and no turning back. All right, so we rank them on 5 different things. Now that I got my little bit of a rant over, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about the impact, the emotional hit. We're gonna talk about the the cultural memory. Where is it gonna rank on there? The longevity. How long is this memory going to, last in the world of things? And we always throw in a 5th one, a wild card. This one we're gonna go with disruption. So without further ado, let's get into the impact. Let's talk scale, because by 2012, smartphone adoption in the U.S. crosses 50%. 2015, it exceeds 70%. Today, over 85% of American adults own a smartphone. The iPhone didn't just change phones. It actually changed banking, because of, the mobile deposits, transportation, Uber, Lyft, all of those, photography. Well, it was declining, unfortunately for all the kind of point and shoot cameras, that's all but done, except for, that one aunt you probably have, or, that really loves the photo stuff. Music consumption, all right? Streaming replaces downloads. You don't need, CD players anymore, but you don't need those cool iPods, which if anybody has one still, I would love to get one and have my kids appreciate what just an iPod really was and is, all right? It also affected retail because you have the mobile first commerce. I mean, how many times have you gone out and bought your favorite content creators, merchandise, which we have some available if you're interested, right on your phone, right? Dating. I mean, there's all sorts of dating apps, location-based, and swipe here, swipe there, do this, do that, all because of mobile apps and your news cycles. You got push notifications. It kind of redefined urgency, all right? So for me, I'm going to give it a 9.4. It's the first number that pops into my head. It's not a 10. Nothing in this world is going to be a perfect 10 in anything that I rank. And let's be honest. I mean, 9.4 is pretty solid, but it didn't end a war. It didn't cure a disease. It actually probably caused quite a few of them. And it didn't fundamentally alter geopolitics overnight. But it did alter daily behavior at a scale, quite a few scale. 9.4 is civilization level behavioral shift, but non-existential transformation, if that makes sense. I mean, this has people probably going to get carpal tunnel more, almost like we're walking zombies. People are walking into objects they probably shouldn't have. And younger kids' memories are now shifting because of short form content on mobile devices. Can we blame Apple? A little bit. I'm gonna. Probably not the only one to blame, but anyways, let's go with the emotional hit, all right? Because Steve Jobs is on stage. He's making that announcement. Nobody that we noticed cried, right? But there was no shockwave even, like, when Darth Vader said, "I am your father." It wasn't tragic. It wasn't triumphant. It was intriguing. The emotional impact didn't happen in 2007. It happened again in 2012 when people realized they couldn't go 10 minutes without checking their phone. It happened when no signal created anxiety. The emotion was delayed, and that matters. So for me, I'm going to give this a 7.1. It's solid, but it's not legendary. But you know what legendary is, if we're all being honest here? Half of us, we can't go through this episode without glancing at our phones. That's the world that this moment created. So if you're living in an always-on environment, the least that you can do is fuel your brain the right way, right? Squatch Juice. Go to squatchjuice.com/beardloss. Clean hydration, no junk, no sugar crash. And if you're going to scroll, at least stay sharp while you do it, right? Now let's talk about cultural memory. Ask someone about the moon landing. They know where they were. Ask someone about the Berlin Wall. They remember footage. Ask someone about the iPhone keynote. Mixed results, right? Tech enthusiasts remember the black turtleneck. They remember slide to unlock. They remember pinch to zoom. But the average person remembers getting their first iPhone, not watching the keynote. The product is iconic. The moment itself, well, I feel like that's less universal. But it's still a pretty iconic moment. So I'm going to say 7.9, and to me, it feels honest. But what happened next is where this moment truly detonated. Longevity. July 10, 2008, the App Store launches with 500 apps. Within 3 days, 10 million downloads. By 2010, over 1 billion downloads. That ecosystem sustains itself for more than a decade. The iPod fades, BlackBerry peaks in 2011, then declines sharply. Nokia sells its mobile division to Microsoft. 2013, the effects compound. We're still living inside the decision, but the reveal itself wasn't complete. No app store yet, no video recording, no copy paste. The longevity belongs partially to, what came after. But it still was powerful. It still sustained. So for me, 8.9 out of 10. Let's go with disruption, the wild card. Smartphones existed before 2007. Touchscreens, they existed. Mobile internet existed. But Apple, it unified it. It simplified it. It marketed it. The disruption? Enterprise mail dominance shattered. Hardware keyboards disappear. Camera sales declined. GPS units shrink. Media consumption becomes mobile first. Empire industries pivot to app-based models. This was not an invention. It was mainstream execution at scale. For me, 9.1 out of 10. Massive disruption, but not solitary creation, right? If the digital world is constantly updating, some things they need to stay reliable. Lift bearded. America made 365-day guaranteed. Go ahead and use code BEARDLAWS, because while tech keeps evolving, a good beard routine shouldn't need a software patch. So for anybody that got distracted by some sweet lift bearded stuff, final scoreboard: impact 9.4, emotional hit 7.1, cultural memory 7.9, longevity 8.9, disruption 9.1. My math is mathin'. That is a 42.4 out of 50. It's Hall of Fame tier. It's not Mount Rushmore, but it absolutely is era defining. So again, on January 9th, 2007, we applauded a product. What we were really applauding was the beginning of the always-on world, the end of boredom, the rise of notifications, the moment glass replaced paper. Whether you see it as progress or maybe Pandora's box, there's no denying it belongs on, well, best moment ever board. Next week, we might as well go ahead and test another moment and see if it dares to score higher. That's all we got. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I know I did, even though I'm not an Apple fan. But we're going to do it all again next week. Take care, everybody.
This is the best moment ever.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. 5 throws. Here's a swing and a high fly ball going deep left. That's how it goes by. It is
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
This is the best moment ever.